Hello everyone, thank you for coming up today. My old subscribers, thank you. And to those that are viewing for the first time or that have not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. And to my new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. There is an update in regards to the 22 years old Kenya student who allegedly murdered his parents and his brothers. So right now, this is what the court has to say about this particular student who murdered all four of his family members. The 22 years old student, who goes by the name Lawrence, he confessed to killing his parents, two brothers, and a farm worker in the Karura area of Kambia County, that's in Kenya. However, right now, this is the ruling of the court. The court is now saying that he is unfit to stand trial. This particular student and his girlfriend were arrested after detectives linked him to the brutal family murder. His two sisters escaped death because they had reported back to school the previous day. However, after he was arrested, he confessed to the crime and led police to the residence in Mai Mahiu, where they recovered the murder weapon, a kitchen knife, clothes, shoes, and a piece of paper where he had written down their names. And it was said to be evaluated and treated in the next 30 days, after which more tests will be conducted to assess whether he is fit to stand trial or not. Because right now, what they are now saying is they are attributing it to some psychological problem. He is having some mental ill health issues, and that's the reason why the court is now saying someone who murdered four of his family members may not be fit to stand trial. Also, the chief magistrate, who is Patricia, she granted the application where the student will be held in police custody in Nairobi until 1st of March 2021, when the matter will be mentioned all over again. And the second suspect is Sarah, who is the student's girlfriend, and she has been set free and will now testify as a prosecution witness in the case. Also, the student had confessed to killing his father, mother, brothers, and a worker employed by his family. The autopsy shows that Anne, that's the mother, had a broken arms and is the only one who appears to have tried to block the attacker, because in the process of trying to block her son from killing her, she got her arm broken. And the other victims, that's his father, his two brothers, seem to have been caught off guard. They didn't even know when this boy was coming to take away their lives. He also further explained that there is a high likelihood that there was only one attacker due to the nature of the injuries on his family members. And it was said that the doctor also said that if there were more than one, that the weapon used was similar, but he thinks that it was just one person. From what he has seen, from what he has actually examined, is just one person. That when he looked at the injuries, they all looked similar from his own observation as a doctor, and it's most likely the weapon used on all of the victims. And that's why he's attributing it that it was just this student alone that killed his family members, and all of them died because of the multiple injuries which are caused by blunt and penetrating trauma, and also a significant loss of blood. And meanwhile, the four family members were buried in a mass grave just last week. Right now, it's that he has some psychological problem. That's the reason why he can't stand trial. But you'll be asking yourself question. Look at this young guy. Looking at him, Does this person look like somebody who has mental issues? And aside from that, someone who has mental issues, you stay, you kill one, it did not come to your senses that this is a family member you're hurting or you're doing something wrong. You hit the second person, third, fourth. Sometimes it baffles me when court eventually evaluates a person after he has committed series of murder and say it's a mental issue or the person has psychological problem. Fine, he may have psychological problems, but you still be asking yourself, he has psychological problems and he knew what it meant to kill somebody. He hit them until they died because they had sustained multiple injuries. He kept on hitting and hitting four of them until they all passed away because the injuries he had inflicted on them was so much that they couldn't even survive it. And luckily his two sisters had come back to school a day before he carried out this evil act. But another question is, how did this guy successfully kill four of his family members without anyone escaping? Did he tie their hands and legs? Or did anybody, probably since his girlfriend, they are now saying she is involved, was it that she locked up the door or she helped him? Because right now they are not saying she helped him, but they are also seeing her as a suspect in this particular crime. You'll be wondering, how come his father, his mother, his two brothers, none of them was able to overpower him to escape? And they're saying it's just one weapon he used, just a kitchen knife. So many questions will come up. Like, how was he able to successfully kill 1, 2, 3? None of them even tried to escape. How was this death carried out? Maybe, who knows, they might have been tied, or were they drugged? Because they said they never expected. From the report, it was said that his father and his other two brothers did not see him coming, so they were taken unaware. And then the mother, who saw what was happening, or she sensed it and she knew, she was trying to block him, and then that was when he used the knife to break her arm and then continued hitting her up until she sustained multiple injuries and couldn't survive it at all. I think somehow, I don't know, probably I may be wrong, but if this court keep ruling for some of these killers that they have psychological problems, is it not another avenue to give some people the room to carry out this act successfully, knowing that they will have a way to maneuver and it will come out that they have psychological problems? You find out that some of them are even set free, or they're just taken to a psychiatric hospital and then they keep them there and for mental evaluation, or they keep them there and say they are treating them. Meanwhile, they won't serve time for the people they have murdered, innocent people that just lost their lives. You can imagine how a young guy like this killed all four of his family members, one person. Isn't that very difficult to ascertain how he actually carried out this gruesome act on his family members without even him realizing? Even if he's mentally ill, someone is screaming and calling out, he didn't stop? Or were they bound together that nobody could even escape? Or did this girlfriend help him to perpetrate this particular murder act? Because it's a very gruesome thing. Looking at this young man, he looks like he is very, very okay. Though some people have mental issues, you will see them, you wouldn't know that this person is going through a kind of psychological problem. He is a student, and there was no report that he had shown signs of mental illness. Probably they would have withdrawn him from school, or they would have taken him to the psychiatric hospital for a very long time, owing that they had made complaints. But no complaints from school, and he is a student. So why is this now attributing to that he has psychological problems? The psychological problem, didn't he affect his school? Wasn't there any report? There was supposed to be like a kind of report that, okay, he's been going through some psychological problems, which they have made a report from school, but nothing like that. Right now it's death. He has murdered 4 people. And then that's when the issue of psychological problems come into play. Guys, I don't know, how do we all see this kind of a gruesome act carried by one person, 4 people at the same time? Please, what could be your own analysis with all of this? It seems kind of dicey in a way, because if someone who has mental issues, you're a student, you go to school, no one has complained about your inability to act well in school, and suddenly you now come back home and kill your whole family members, and it's now turned that you have psychological problems. Or did the psychological problem start that same day that he killed his family members? Who knows? Because right now it's a kind of a dicey situation that is here. And look at him, looking so healthy and okay and moving, a student who now murdered 4 people. But now they're saying he can't stand trial because of this psychological illness he is going through. It's such a pity that he murdered 4 people, members of his own family. May the souls of his parents and his brothers rest in perfect peace with the Lord, and may God console all the family members, friends, and well-wishers who also knew this particular people. It's such a pain to lose people in this manner. You can imagine what a child would carry on his entire family. Is it not a planned thing? Is not a premeditated act? Because for you to kill 1, 2, 3, 4, it really looks somehow. Well, we'll get to know how they will eventually handle his own charges, because right now they said he can't stand trial. He will now go for his own mental evaluation, while the court will come back to mention his case 1st of March 2021. And thanks be to God that his other 2 sisters had left the house. Otherwise, probably they would have also fallen victim of this. It's really, really sad, or it's really, really bad. And if he had mental issues and maybe his family members never reported, knowing that he's not okay, it's not a good thing. If you know anybody, sometimes some people have mental issues, but when you see them, you would not know. But there are certain traits that they would actually portray or show, or signs that they will show that will make you know that this person is not okay. Please report to the appropriate source. Either you call, there are some helplines that you can call, and so they will give such people help. Call them on time before they carry out deadly acts on people's lives, like this particular guy now. If he is really mentally ill, there must have been certain signs and no one reported. Otherwise, all this death wouldn't have happened. So please, if you know someone who is going through some mental issues and the person is not even ready to speak up, you can help the person by calling those helplines. You can even call 911. You could call the cops and let them come and handle that particular person, or take the person where the person would need or get the appropriate help he or she needs. Because once they have these mental issues and you leave them and it prolongs, that is when they sit down and carry out gruesome acts that will be unimaginable to hear or see. Friends, what do you all think about this? Please, whatever you feel, please put that down at the comment section. Thank you, friends, for coming up today. For those that have not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. Once again, thank you. God bless you all.